Hello, welcome to Pumpkin Canine Fashions. I have paw-picked my new line of dog beds. Each one delivers bold, stylish looks that make your pup stand out from the pack. With thoughtfully designed apparel and accessories, my people bring personality and flair to every tail wag. Go ahead, treat your pup to one today. Order now at pumpkincaninefashion.com. That's pumpkincaninefashion.com.
Hello, world. This is Talkin Live, and we got a special guest today. His name is Jay Martinez.
Now, let's get ready. You are Talkin Live with Lamar Bearden.
Hello, Jay. We're glad to have you here today, and we're looking forward to hear your story that you got, how God has turned you around and changed you. I understand you used to belong to the cartel, and we understand also that you talk to children, young children, try to turn them around, get them to in the right direction where that they can turn their life around and not get involved in those kind of things. I'm going to turn it over to you, Jay.
Yes, so basically, I'm 46 years old. I was raised in El Paso, Texas, right there by Juarez. And as a young kid, I would go to school and I come back and my life seemed like everything was good. I used to play with my brothers and my sisters. I would watch cartoons. I would go out there and play baseball and basketball and soccer, but life started turning around when I seen my father at an early age where he would come home and he would start drinking. And then I noticed that when I would go sit down with him and I wanted to play with my father, he would push me around, and I noticed that my dad started drinking and mixing beer with liquor, and that caused blackouts. And when he had these blackouts, he would start beating up my mom on a daily basis. So I would bring my brothers and sisters to a closet where it was a safe place, and then I would go attack the enemy, which was my father. My father became real violent, and he would also hit me at an early age. And I was the protector of the house, being the oldest of my brothers and sisters, and not noticing that there was a trauma in my life. And when Friday nights would come around, I knew what time it was. I knew that I had to protect my brothers and sisters, so I would put them in this safe place closet, and I was ready to fight the enemy, and my father would come so violent that, the enemy came out, and my mom couldn't take it no more. The cops would be called, and nothing was ever done to my father because my mom would protect him after she would get beat, and we would get beat. And my mom would always tell my father, if I ever catch you with another woman, there would be a divorce. And that day came. That day came at an early age when my father was found with another woman and my mom left him. But there was more problems at the house. The fun from going to school, the fun from watching TV, cartoons, became a disaster. I had to be the head of the household of my family. So my mom worked at McDonald's, and she would come back and she fed us McDonald's for like 2 years. And I noticed that I needed to do something in my life to be able to help her with the bills, because the food stamps that she was getting, she was turning around and selling them to pay the electric bill, the gas bill, the gas bill. And it just became sad. I noticed that my mom started injecting herself on her fingertips and she had diabetes. And I decided to go to the streets to find a family. I got jumped into a local gang in El Paso, Texas, where I thought it would be safe just in case my dad would come. I would call my homeboys and to protect my family. And a local gang promised me a family that was a fake family. They beat me down. They gave me a name. Instead of Jay, my name was Clown. So I lived up to this name, Clown, for all these years where I was lost, where the enemy had caught me. And So I got introduced to criminal activity at an early age. I started robbing people. I started going to people's houses. And one time I went in and I stole a 357 from a local house, and I put it up, not knowing that there was a bullet inside. And they showed me how to roll marijuana. I started smoking marijuana, not knowing that this marijuana had been laced with something else. And when I smoked it, it made me trip. And we were listening to Cypress Hill, and not knowing at an early age that these rap music that kids are listening to now could trigger them to doing other things. And it triggered me at that moment that I was so high. I got that 357 at a 14-year-old age kid, and I pointed it out at my brother, and I shot it. I almost blew my brother's head off. And my mom came out running, and my brother was so scared. The local gang members found out that I could shoot, and they asked me to become the shooter for our local gang. So I became their shooter. A shooter means when you go to other people's houses and you do drive-bys. And, my choice was a wrong choice. And that's what I tell the kids now, that our choices that we do could not also affect you, but also affects our family members. And when I started doing these drive-bys for this local gang, they're not just going to sit there and not do anything. They're going to go back and get revenge. And that's what happened to me. They did a drive-by, and at my mom's house, an innocent lady that didn't have nothing to do with gangs, they shot through the and hit my mom with the pellets of a 12-gauge shotgun. Almost blew her head off.
Wow.
And the gang, we went back, and now the gang wanted me to be their collector. And I went to a guy that owed money to our gang, and there was 2 kids that walked out of the door when I was about to do the drive-by, and I couldn't shoot those young kids. So I put the 22 rifle on my homeboys. When I went back, the gang violated me for not shooting at the house, not knowing that the shot callers, not knowing that there was 2 young kids out there. And they pistol whipped me, and they cut me on my eyebrows. So people ask me, why do you have those cuts on your eyebrows? Why do I do it? Because I remember that day that I didn't shoot those two kids. That's why I do that. Memories, that I could have been like other gang members and just shot innocent people, and I couldn't do that. So once my mom found out this, she got tired. She wanted me to go to a youth group home in 88 miles from El Paso, Texas to Sierra Blanca, Texas. And my mom took me to a youth group, and it was a Christian youth group. And when my mom told me this, I said, Mom, but we're Catholics. You told me that we have to serve the Virgin Mary. And she says, no. She says, I was wrong. I want you to know who Jesus Christ is. So I went to this group home. I started reading the Bible. I started knowing who Jesus Christ was. And my pastor that accepted me asked me if I wanted to receive Jesus as my Lord and Savior. And I said yes. When I went and I got baptized, Jesus spoke to me that I would be a youth minister and I would be speaking to kids. But I've been running all these years from the Lord. I didn't know exactly what He wanted me to do. So I finally got it. And I finally got it 12 years ago. But with that being said, He put me back in school. Everything was going fine. I got a little job. But I was missing my family. I was missing my family. That when I called back home, my mom was at McDonald's, and one of my brothers answered. And I asked him, Andy, what are you doing? And he says, my name's not Andy no more. My name's Tweety. So my brothers also became part of the local gang that I joined in. You see, when you're the oldest of your family, your brothers and your sisters, they look up to you. And they were looking up at something that was fake, because I wasn't the real brother that I should have been to my brothers and sisters. They also gave them nicknames. My brother Alex became Lobo. My brother Michael became Rascal. And it was sad, I was so lucky that my youngest sisters, were not called any nicknames at that point. So once I went back to El Paso, Texas to go visit my family, I noticed that my family was in destruction. They were living for the enemy, just like the way I was living for the enemy. And I noticed a girl there, and she asked me what I was doing, and I ended up getting her pregnant at an early age. So I became a father at an early age, not knowing what a father really was. I thought having sex was just normal, and I ended up getting her pregnant. And I broke another family, just like my family had been broken. And I started living with her, and her being from another gang, and it caused a lot of trauma, a lot of hurt. And our child, Ashley, didn't have a father or a mother because we weren't raising her the way we're supposed to, because there was always gangs involved. And I had to supply for her. So I had to get her diapers, I had to get her milk, I had to help her with the bills, and I couldn't get a normal job at an early age. And so I went back to the streets. I started, I ended up talking to my older homeboys, and they asked me that they had a job for me. So I started selling drugs through the Greyhound bus, delivering, hiding, to get it to the next city. And then when I got it to the next city, I would get paid, and I would give back the money to my mom and money to my baby mama. And I started noticing that money was good, but in the wrong way. And I started liking it. And once you had money, I could buy anything I wanted. People were happy. And I started taking drugs to the East Coast, to St. Louis, Missouri. And I ended up meeting some Mexicans there, not knowing what I was taking over there. And when I came back, I was falling asleep. And, many times I could have lost my life, because I was so tired from driving from Missouri all the way to El Paso, Texas. And I had to get back the money or whatever was in that vehicle back to the Mexicans at the border, and that was my job. And then somebody told me that if I tried crystal meth, that I wouldn't fall asleep on the road. So I got introduced to crystal meth at an early age. I walked into the house, and my brother was smoking meth out of a crystal meth pipe. And he had us like puppets. We would do anything for crystal meth. I loved what it was doing to me, and the power. And I actually followed my brother, because he had all these Sudafed pills and this iodine crystals and the red phosphorus. And he was taking it to somebody in the mountains in El Paso. And we followed him. And when my brother came off the apartment, me and my homeboys, we went in there and we kidnapped the guy that was the meth cook. And we basically told him that he needed to show us how to make meth. And he said, "You know what meth stands for?" And I said, "No." He said, "Main entrance to hell." Main entrance to hell. And I said, "Well, so why do you do it?" He said, "Because he loved it." He said, "Let me tell you something, son. If I show you how to do this, you will end up in prison for a long time. Your life could be in danger. You could even lose your life." And I didn't get it. I would watch him cook down the pills. I would watch them, how the meth was being made. And I decided to go on my own and make crystal meth. So I went around the state line from El Paso, Texas to New Mexico. I was at a trailer there. And I started breaking down the pills, and with an open flame, that you should never have open flame when you cook down the pills.
Yeah, stuff will blow up.
It would blow up. And that's exactly what happened to me. The girl that was there actually went with a cigarette to get her cigarette turned on, and the fumes went up, and everybody got scared. My brother threw water at it, and it spread it all over the kitchen at the trailer. And the only thing that I could do was grab the flask, the visionware, and my hands were on fire. And my brother got a shirt and put it over it to turn down the flames. And through the grace of God, the trailer didn't blow down, but it had caused danger to my hand. My hand was full of pus all over, and as to this day, it becomes weak, because of the chemicals inside of it. I started cutting myself with a knife to pour down whatever was inside the chemical, and I started tattooing my wounds. That's why people ask me, "Why do you have all these tattoos?" Was because I couldn't look at my hand with all these scars on it. And so I still didn't get the point. I was still running away from God's plan, what he had told me. And I gave meth once I started learning how to make it. I thought I was the king. I thought I had the power. If anybody wanted meth, they would have to come through me, And that's what I thought. The enemy had me so confused. The devil had me so confused that I was like a king, you know.
Yeah, I talked to a lady who does cocaine a lot. She told me it makes me feel powerful. It makes me feel like I can do anything. I did it one time. I never liked it.
And that's what happened to me. I thought I had all the power, had all the control, and I could have everybody like puppets. And I gave this drug to my homeboy, a real close friend of mine, not knowing that his mind, you know, was going to go wild. And I gave it to him, and he became a monster. He became a pervert, and he raped my sister. When I found out this, I went crazy. That one of my sisters, because of my choice of giving this drug to my friend, he had raped my sister. And I looked for him. The detectives started following me. They questioned me where this guy was at, and I went on the run. And I had a friend that lived in Dalton, Georgia, and Fifth Avenue, right there on Walnut. And
yeah, I know where that's at.
And I came on the Greyhound under a different identity. I showed up in 2003, and I lived with him, and I tried to work at Shaw and Beaulieu under another name. But once they started asking me for more paperwork, I just left, and I became homeless. Actually, at one time, I was living at the hospital, at the emergency room, making people think that I was hurt just to sleep at nighttime until they realized, and they'd kick me out. And I was dumpster diving to find food or find clothes, and I was on the street by myself, and I decided to make meth again. So little by little, I would go to the Kmart's or Walmart's and get the Sudafed pills, and I would find out where the iodine crystals was at, and I make my own iodine crystals, and I would get the matches and to get the red phosphorus, and I would find a place where I could cook it, and I ended up getting busted in Chatsworth, Georgia, for intent to manufacture meth. I went to the state joint in Georgia. The Mexicans would hang out with the Mexicans. The white guys would hang out with the whites. The blacks would hang out with the blacks.
I know.
It became real political, that you couldn't even be around black people. You couldn't even be around white people. You couldn't even eat with them. And I started noticing the separation even in prisons.
It's kind of like a commission, but different races.
Yes, sir. Even at the chow house, we couldn't sit down with each other. We couldn't live with each other. And I was like that too, even growing up as a kid. I couldn't have a black girlfriend. I couldn't, a black person couldn't come to my house. We were taught that black people were bad people. And I think black people were taught that Spanish people were bad people. And all that hate and all that, was building inside my heart, and I was missing something. It was Jesus Christ. And I still didn't get it. I met this old Mexican guy, and he told me that he had power in Atlanta, and that if I ever wanted to go back selling drugs, if anything became hard, just to holler at him. So I got out. I was living in Dalton, and life started getting better, and I got married. And I started working at Shaw. And when I went in there, I noticed that all these Mexicans were working real fast, and I was always the slowest one to come off my work. And I started asking my supervisor, and he said that people were on meth, that's how they were working so fast.
Where were you working at?
At
Shaw?
the extrusion part.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's real hard work, and real dangerous too. So I went into the bathroom. My supervisor was getting high on crystal meth, on ice, which they call it now. And I got high, and I started working fast. But when I went back home, when my ex-wife was at work, the mind trick started playing on me. That my wife was cheating on me, that I couldn't trust her. And I became a monster again. And we got divorced. And I went back to the old game, the old tricks that the devil had for me. And
see, that's the problem with when you start walking with the Lord. Sometimes you lose your faith. You you lose your desire to be good. You lose your desire. See, the devil paints a very beautiful picture for these gang members.
Yes, sir.
And I've talked to a lot of people, and, you know, I know Spanish, a lot of Spanish people are Catholic, but you can't, and Italians too, you can't they have to see it themselves. You can't make nobody see nothing. You have to see it yourself. You have to, you know, work your own salvation.
Amen.
And because some people try to mislead you.
Amen.
They try to mislead you. But I'm going to tell you something. If you read that Bible and you have the Spirit, you'll never be misled.
And you're totally right about that. You know, I was being misled in my own household when I was a kid through Catholics. And when I got out and I went through my ex-wife, situation, I went back and it just got worse. You see, when you go back, it gets harder. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think in the Bible says it gets seven times worse than what you started. And that's what happens.
The spirits come back in you when he finds it swept and garnished. And he said, I'll go back to my old house. And he takes 7 more worse than the first.
And that's exactly what happened to me. So I ended up calling the guy that was in prison. He had a cell phone. And he told me to go to Atlanta, not knowing that the people I was going to meet was part of a cartel that were heavy in it. So once I went to go get the drugs in Atlanta, I brought it back to Dalton. I was on probation. I got rid of it. I sent back the money because they didn't want to meet nobody else. And then once I started doing that for a couple months, like almost every day, they told me that I was a good gang member. I knew the streets. I knew Spanish and English. And they said that I was so deep in it that I was part of a cartel. And they started giving me kilos. And they were called the Mexicans in Michoacan, Mexico. And they had already a delivery for me. So when I got there, I told them that I needed a group, and they asked me to build my own group. So I built a group of around 8 people, and we started. I would give it to them, and things started blowing up. I started making a lot of money. I started having all the cars, all the women, all the fancy stuff, but something inside of me wasn't happy.
Thanks for joining us today for part 1 of The Power of a Testimony with Jay Martinez. Wow! This has been a powerful day for renewing one's spirit. Be sure to join us for part 2 next time as Jay once again joins us on the Talkin Live Show with Lamar Bearden.
The views and opinions expressed on all Talkin Live Show presentations are those of the host and their guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of the Talkin Live TV broadcast studio, EPB Fiber Optics, or by this network or its management.
One of the many benefits of working with us is that we will work with you on contract and sell assets for you at a percentage depending on the product. Asset brokerage will sell it on site and send someone to inspect it, move it, whatever you need for when your assets are approved for purchase. All items will be picked up after the money has been wired to the customer. Also, we are now purchasing solar equipment or recycling the products obtained from them. These are just some of the many ways we can help. Contact us online, by email, or by phone for your free quote today with no obligation. Go ahead, call today.
Before drones and digital streams, there were boots on the ground and cameras in the wild. Every Saturday evening starting at 5 p.m., journey back with the pioneers who filmed nature's first close-up shots. Real explorers, timeless stories that bring the beauty and wonder of the natural world into your home. All evening long, every Saturday. Watch Echoes of the Wild, only on Timeless Classics TV.
stand out with our exclusive backpack, proudly showcasing the one-of-a-kind Lamar Fashions logo, blending style and distinction into every design. Available in white or black, our backpack is lightweight and comfortable for your optimal comfort and shoulder fit. The main pocket inside can store daily necessities and contains a protective sleeve to hold your laptop along with interior pockets for storing valuables. With its classic shape, this backpack is perfect for business travel, laptop soft case, or luggage bag for short trips, and will make a great gift for any age group. The two exterior side pockets can hold your water bottles or your mobile phone. Order yours today in black or white at surplusproductsforyou.com. That's surplusproductsforyou.com.
In a world where every dollar counts, why pay full price when you can get more for less at Surplus Products for You? We connect buyers with a wide range of consumer goods and commercial surplus inventory. Whether you're looking for discounted electronics, office supplies, home goods, hosiery, or industrial equipment, our platform offers a diverse selection at competitive prices. Our user-friendly website makes it easy to find what you need, secure your payments, and get shipping straight to your door. We ensure a seamless shopping experience. New products are added daily, so there's always something new to discover. You can shop with confidence knowing you're getting value for your money. Join us at surplusproductsforyou.com and explore a world of surplus treasures today.
Welcome to Talkin Live Classics TV. Reserve this spot on our Classics channel today to advertise your business or showcase an upcoming event. We not only provide broadcasting for EPB customers, but we also stream 24/7 on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and online at timelessclassicstv.com. Call our advertising department at 423-290-9194. That's 423-290-9194 to find out more about placing your spot here. Mention code Classics 2023 for your discounted rate today.
Tennessee motorists only care about how they can avoid traffic delays in order to save time and money, especially in morning and afternoon rush hour traffic. Commander Chuck is the only Tennessee traffic reporter in Nashville, Memphis, Knoxville, and Chattanooga, providing you with live, real-time traffic video. You can no longer depend on traditional media sources to help you. Millions of Tennesseans are now making the switch to Commander Chuck live, real-time traffic video in order to avoid adverse traffic conditions. Don't get stuck in Tennessee traffic. Make that switch now.
Stay tuned to Talkin Live for your current Chattanooga and North Georgia traffic report every 15 minutes weekdays for your morning and afternoon commute.